I was fucking dead. Turn your mic on before you try to yell and it's not dead. What's up, everybody?
Oh!
Welcome
Got
to
him
the
again.
Podcast, episode number 65 in the house. We have our guests tonight, Luke Urick, in the
What's
house,
up?
back joining us again.
Yeah, featured.
Expectedly.
Yeah, he's a feature this time. Well done. Well done.
I like the sound of that.
Whoa. When somebody claps, everybody claps.
Yeah.
Urick in the house.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't leave nobody
This is why I
hanging.
love you guys.
Johnny
It's
Hoffman.
special.
Apparently, what is
He
this?
plays bass.
Okay, but what's his stage name now? What are we
Johnny Hasselhoff.
called? Johnny
Hoffman.
Hasselhoff. Okay, I can do it.
It is. It's gonna be his tattoo.
Adam something or other, because I didn't get your last name. What's your last name?
Leach.
Adam Leach. All right. Now, are you guys all in a band?
No.
Okay.
He's my really long time good
Okay.
buddy.
All right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
He's
My brother.
Time good buddy.
Yeah. I introduced them not
Good.
too long
I
ago.
love this guy.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He is.
Yeah, this is funny. Just since my wife is salty because she had a best friend in high school, and she introduced her other best friend to her, and now they're best friends, and neither of them talk to my wife. How funny is that? And she's all salty, like, what the? It was like, that was ancient, man. What are you even worried about that for? You know what I mean? Honestly, it's the way it rolls if they're
Holy
not even
sh-
talking to
That's
you.
what's gonna happen to me, man.
I know.
They're squeezing me out like a pimple.
They're gonna awkwardly see you walking down the street one day, like, oh my gosh. There's
He
Luke.
starts a band with him.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got a new guitarist. Sorry.
So how many people were in your new band?
It's him. He's playing bass
Okay.
and sings backup vocals and vocals, and I do vocals and guitar, and I have a drummer. His
Okay.
name's Zach Jones, and he does drums.
Keeping it simple, huh?
Yeah,
this
just
is my-
a good old-fashioned
I was
three-piece.
gonna say this
Yeah.
is my first time playing bass. Actually, I've been a guitar player
Yeah.
for 14 years, but
Is it easier to transition to bass or from bass to guitar?
It's a new thing, but I'm very familiar with it because it's similar. It's all the same strings and notes as a guitar, but it's a new thing and I like it. It's enjoyable. I'm gonna play for him with bass, for as long as I can until we find a bass player.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, we're on the search.
Then what are you gonna do? Rhythm or something?
Lead rhythm.
Okay.
Whatever he needs help on is what we want to do, and then we're gonna write some stuff originally. too.
Nice. I was just gonna ask you that. Way to get out of my head.
We
bro.
have.
So you've already started on some original
Well,
stuff, or you got
We're
planned?
running it around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what we planned to do when we started was just get as many covers as we could, so we could just start gigging. And
Okay.
we finally got all of our equipment, and now we have 6,000 cover songs, and no originals because we've just
6,013 to be exact.
6,013.
Yeah.
That's quite an impressive selection.
Goes
Oh,
forever.
geez.
That ranges a lot. It goes from everything from the 20s to 2052.
yeah, lots of prints, dude. Just lots of prints.
We'll have to ask you that.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's nervous spin. Yeah, it is. It is.
Vibrating.
I found it, and it was good too. It was really soothing.
I bet it was.
I'm over
Yeah.
here freaking
I
out
feel
now.
I feel very comfortable now. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Somebody
Is
will
it
be
is it hot in here?
That was just the clock ticking.
Somebody's gonna watch it and be like, "Man, but the guy stopped tapping the table."
I think I talked about this last week, but I like to listen to NPR, and I was listening last week at some point, and they were talking to some guy, and he was like, and he had a boog in his nose, and you could hear the whistle from it. I'm like,
man.
there's no way me as a listener can hear that, and there's not a guy in production that's hearing that. Like, you know what I mean? They're not on TV. You can blow your nose, turn your mic off, and blow your nose. It was hilarious. I was like, I can't be the only person hearing this. What's going
Fair
on?
enough. That could be a deeper sinus issue. There's
Man.
something you can't do something about that sometimes.
It sounded suspiciously like a bug,
It
you
might have
know,
been a bug.
just at the.
Needless to say, him and his wife sleep in separate beds.
I just get the benefit of the doubt.
I just throw it out there so everybody knows also that Luke does just guitar lessons or any
I
other
do, mainly guitar lessons.
at Bob's Banjo Barn.
I like to stick to guitar because I am horrible at drums.
Now since the
and kinda
fire,
good
he's
at
on
guitar.
Paint Street, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they're right there on Paint Street.
Yeah.
That's-
No, they're on Water Street.
Water Street. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know why I said Paint Street. I meant
Yeah.
Water Street.
Hey
All
man,
right.
I still carry a GPS for this town.
Yeah, you do good over there.
I
You
do
do
good.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Business
cool.
picking up between
That's good.
doing that and playing gigs and everything. I stay pretty busy. So,
Nice, man. That's
doing
good.
what I love, can't beat that.
You can't beat that. Hardline was just talking about that earlier. You know, I mean, he has an opportunity to focus on the gym,
Yeah.
but he was just talking about some risk rewards. Should I not be talking about that?
Yeah, no.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's probably fine. I mean, yeah, you didn't say anything.
No, I didn't say anything great. We're not talking about
I
it.
just sometimes wish I had
More time.
and
Yeah.
it's not that I wish. It's I got the balls to take it.
That's
and
true,
go
man.
With that and risk having nothing. Working from the bottom up again, or staying on top of this wave that I might be on and ride it out.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
Hardline have the testicular fortitude to get out there and do
Hey,
it?
I got blue wall balls.
And because
Can you please make a T-shirt?
did you
with
get
that on there,
you
man?
got Reese on the camera right there? I think
A little
it
bit.
kind of looks like he's in the picture.
Sort
But
of
we
is.
didn't introduce Reese. That he is in the studio in case you hear weird voice
Can
coming
he
out.
get a
of
round of applause?
Yeah, why not, Reese? Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Yes. And it actually
It's nice
sounds
to
good
feel
when you
special,
have
isn't
this-
it?
when you have this many people that clap, it sounds legit.
We got it's almost like we're our own audience. Awesome.
Hey, that's how you do it, man.
Man, I just want to get right into episode 65 and put all the focus back on me and away from our guests for a little bit. I got to tell about this story because you guys seemed interested in it
Oh, yeah.
anyway. All right, so just went down to Florida with my wife, visit my sister. They were having like a beauty pageant. Reese went and his old lady went. And my wife's going to do the kids' hair. His fiance did their makeup and stuff. So, we made a vacation out of it. First of all, we left during the blizzard. You know, when they shut Kentucky down because they had so much snow. Do
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
remember hearing about that? They got like 24 inches in 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
So luckily we left late enough in the day where that had been cleaned up. You know, it was still sketchy, but it had been cleaned up. This is funny though. We got into Tennessee, and their method for cleaning up snow is they're going to wait until the sun melts it. So the whole state of Tennessee,
That would be my method.
the whole state of Tennessee
Sounds
was
easy.
snow. But luckily, there wasn't anybody out there, so we passed maybe there was like 10 cars, a total of 10 cars that we seen going through there, and
Yeah.
it cleared up once we got into Alabama. But it was just like, okay, that's weird. You're just gonna let it melt and leave the highway shut down, whatever. All right. So we get down through Alabama, and Alabama's much better. So I get my first ticket about this close from the Florida line. It's all the way down at the very nipple on Alabama, the very lowest part. So I took 65 the whole way,
Yeah.
which is 70 miles per hour the whole way. You know what I mean? 70 miles per hour. So by this time, I've been driving like 11 hours, and my foot was, it was stuck on 70. I don't have any excuse for it. I was just doing 70, and we pulled off onto 331, and Alabama Highway Patrol got me. I was doing 75 and a 65. My fault. How long did that ordeal take? In less than 10 minutes, right? I said yes, sir, 7 times. He gave me my citation. I was on my way. No problem. He caught me speeding. I'm glad to pay that ticket. I'm not glad to pay it, but
Yeah.
I'll pay it because that was
You
my
have
mistake.
pride in your county, man. It's good to have.
But, that's not his fault. It was my fault, so I'll pay that. So we get down to Florida. We're there one night. Then it was the next day. Was it the next day? Yeah, it was the next day. We're getting ready to go to the pageant. We've had the girls done up, and we're all driving over there. And we're on 331 again, coincidentally, but it's in Florida now. And I noticed that there's a deputy in the middle. He's in a dead lane with, yellow stripes in the middle of the road. And I was like, well, he's probably radaring people. So, but he's facing north. I'm going north. And there's a big hill. So obviously, what's he doing? He's catching people coming over the hill. So I get up over the hill, and I'm like, I want to let these people know to use caution because there's a deputy down there probably having the speed trap. So what do you guys know what to do to warn other drivers of hazard ahead?
Blinkers. Blink your blinkers.
Turn your lights on and off. Turn your lights on and off. everyday thing. I do it all the time here in Ohio. It's perfectly legal in Ohio. So, 6 to 8 times I'm letting people have a heads up that, I don't want anybody else to have their trip ruined by a $200 ticket.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
apparently.
a good Samaritan right there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man. Just
Straight
communication
up.
with other drivers. That's an important thing. So there's another deputy coming south. Obviously, he sees me, hits a U-turn, turns on his lights, pulls me over. At this point, I had my camera in perfect position. Always record your interactions with law enforcement.
Yeah. You could get some really funny
most
videos
of them
out
are
it.
great people. Most I will say it, most law enforcement are great people. They want to help. They're out there to do what's right.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get caught that one time with a guy that's going to lie and make something up. So I didn't do it, unfortunately, because I thought, yeah, I have done nothing wrong. Seatbelts are on. I'm not speeding. Everything's current. Insurance, everything's taken care of. I'm like, this guy's going to just be like, hey, be on your way. I don't know why I pulled you over, but be on your way.
Yeah.
So he comes up to the car on the driver's side, and he's like, I noticed your lights were blinking on and off back there. What's that all about? I'm not going to lie to the guy because I think, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, I'm letting people know there's a deputy over that hill at the, I don't want anybody to get in trouble because they
That
have
was
a
the
speed
moment
trap.
Deke knew.
No,
fucked up.
see, that wasn't the moment. I was doing okay probably at that point. That wasn't the moment. You'll know the moment when you hear it. And he's like, in the state of Florida, it's illegal to signal with your headlamps. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I think it's my First Amendment right that I can communicate with the other drivers on the road. And that's where I fucked up. Because he went from leaning in my window to standing straight up. And he's like, well, Mr. Deacon, let me tell you something. I'm a deputy for the state of Florida, and state law, I enforce state law. State law trumps federal law. And it's illegal in the state of Florida to flash your headlights at people. Very respectful. Yeah, he got yes sirs and no sirs the whole time.
You kind of got burnt, didn't you?
I said, I'm sorry, sir. I did not know that. My apologies. He's like, well, let me have your information. Takes all my information's straight, but we just got a new car. So the other deputy had come up to join him. Mm-hmm. And he approaches on my wife's side, and he's like, something's not matching up because we literally just got this new car, but everything was straight. Eventually they worked it out, what was wrong. So the original deputy comes back to my side, and he's like, Mr. Deacon, here's a copy of your citation in Alabama. I didn't ask you for that. Why are you giving me a copy of that? That's none of your business. You know what I mean? You seen it was on there. Okay, you don't need to bring
You
me a copy.
found out you were on a crime spree is what happened.
Apparently, he thought he was impressing me or something with that.
Just do whatever.
Okay, whatever. So I take that, and he's like, here's your citation from me. I just want to reiterate that it is illegal in the state of Florida to use your to flash your headlights at people.
Yeah.
I was like, weird, but all right, it's Florida. Things are weird in Florida, whatever.
It freaks people out,
Freaks
man.
people
That's
out.
bad.
So I get the ticket, and we're late for my niece's pageant already. We're a little bit late, and that's the whole reason we're down there. So I'm just like, throw it in the glove box. Yes, thanks, sir. Boom, I'm going. Later on, we're discussing the ticket, and Reese tells me that he has written on here, failure to dim bright lights. I at no point in this whole saga had my bright lights on. I turned my lights on and off because I know when you flash your bright lights, that means that oncoming traffic has their bright lights on.
Yeah.
When you turn your lights on and off, that means you need to be careful ahead because something's either in the road or deer are out or anything like that. When I rode my motorcycle, people used to give me a heads up all the time. I always appreciated that. So now I'm stewing. I'm like, that's weird. This dude just gave me a ticket for failure to dim bright lights. I've never had my bright lights on at all. That is just so weird. So, of course, I'm straight to Google. Turns out in 2013, the state got sued by 2,400 people that had got tickets for bright lights, and the Florida Supreme Court put it on law that it's your First Amendment right, the exact same thing I said, it's your First Amendment right to communicate with other people on the road. And in 2013, they made a law, there's an actual law in the books that says I can do that. They can do nothing about that. So at this point, I couldn't sleep. I stayed up all night. 7:30, I went down to the sheriff's substation. I'm like, you know what I mean? I need to talk to somebody about something that happened to me that is totally horrible. You know what I mean? An officer of the law abused his authority, gave me a ticket for no reason, and then lied and signed his name on it. He signed his name on a state document, and it's a lie. It's just a blatant lie. So I'm like, okay. And I talked to the sheriff, and he's like, I hate to tell you this, man.
But you're not.
There's only one person that can. He was cool as shit. He was an older guy. He's probably 50 something. He was in an undercover car. He pulled around to the front when the lady called him like, hey, there's somebody at the front because you can't just walk in there apparently.
Yeah.
So he pulled up. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? I was like, hey, I got this ticket last night. Dude pulled me over for blinking my headlights at people to warn them about a speed trap, and then he gives me this ticket for failure to dim bright lights. He's like, oh, man, I'd fight that. I said, yes, sir. And he said, but I was like, I just want to talk to him or his supervisor or something. He's like, you can, but there is only one person that's going to be able to help you out of that ticket,